So first, let's take a moment to look around us. This room is full of people that we've never seen before and that we might never see again. Now let's briefly close our eyes. Allow ourselves to simply be here. We can open our eyes again. My pledge for last year was to allow myself to be present. It may sound simple, but it proved to be too difficult for most of the time. So I made the same pledge again this year. And let's see if it works. Because as John Lennon said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. And today here we'll talk about life. The life that is here, in this room and outside of it. Now let's look back. Not literally, but back in time. Imagine that you're 4 years old again, living in a world where everything is possible, filled with unpredictability. And as you're taken by this thought, I'll tell you that there was a wolf outside. A free wolf walked behind these doors. It doesn't matter how it got here or where he will go. It's just walking outside for now. Our inner child is probably a little curious about this wolf. Maybe it is a little bit nervous too. And now I tell you that as I get my fingers, the walls are gone. Imagine there is just no separation between us. What do we do? We might all just run away as fast as we can, or maybe we will just try to confront this wolf somehow. Some of us maybe are brave enough for that. Or maybe we'll just stay still, pretending that, such that the wolf will not see us. Well, in any case, we will be most likely dominated by our fears. So I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try and remove this wolf. I'm going to make myself big and powerful. I'm going to eat more, consume more, such that I can remove this wolf. And as I start pulling this wolf, I find resistance. What is this? This wolf is somehow attached to things I cannot easily remove. So I start pulling, and I see wild boars. Many of them, more and more of them, since the wolf no longer feeds on them. And I continue pulling, and I see seeds, or less seeds, a lot less seeds, because now there are many wild boars, and they eat a lot of seeds. And I continue pulling, and I see less plants, less trees, less pollinators, less birds singing. And suddenly there is silence. Yet another silent spring as I see more and more attached to this wolf. But I'm determined to remove this wolf. It's not supposed to be outside, right? We've made this street for us. So I'm going to try and remove it, and I think this string is so strong that I have to break it somehow, so I find myself searching for knives, scissors, saws, electric saw. Maybe technology will help me. But this string is really so strong, and suddenly I see that many people are pulling with me. They're trying to remove this wolf somehow. And finally, the string breaks. So great naturalist John Muir once said that when we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to anything else in the universe. This piece of wisdom that is more than 100 years old can show us the way. I am myself also connected to this wolf somehow. And when the string finally breaks and runs away, I feel it he doesn't only take away the wealth of life that is connected to him, but he also takes away a part of me that believes in coexistence and connection, a part of me that believes in the diversity of life, in the autonomy of another life form. And it hurts. Many years ago, when I heard about the destruction of the Amazon, I decided to become an ecologist. I spent my childhood playing next to the Atlantic forest in Brazil, and I thought later on that if I researched remarkable things about nature and show it to people, I would make people care. But it soon proved to be a lot more complicated than that. By then, the dominant discourse was that we needed to keep people away from nature in order to protect it. We just need to keep people away from natural parks. So what happened? People saw their freedoms being harmed by this. They saw that they couldn't just access any resource. Their activities even became illegal. And many, many people left these places, which left them to plunder, nature to plunder by anyone that he just go to harm it. So I initially thought that my quest was to study nature, but it soon became very evident that understanding people was even as important. So at the end of my bachelor studies in biology, I headed out to the north of Madrid to the mountains. I wanted to interview people, to ask them what their values on nature were, and how could they collaborate with establishing the national park that is now in place. And after many, many weeks of facing closed doors, people finally trusted me to talk to me. And they start telling their truth, their realities. And they even told me how angry people were, so angry that they took away freshly planted trees by the park administration for reforestation. Clearly, this park had to benefit local human populations somehow. And in one of those streets, when I was talking to the forest managers, they told me, watch out, it's a secret. They were afraid that angry locals would scare away the wolf that was finally there. So when we look at the massive ecological crisis that we're facing, we are surely part of the problem. We are causing the problem. But it took us a very long time to realize that we are also needing to be part of the solution. Local populations are the guardians of nature. They protect it, not only because they care, they have a connection to it, because they live from it. And we all owe them so much. But nature is not only far, we touch it every day. So what happens when we leave? Can we bring nature back? Can we rewild it? Are we brave enough for this? Well, the wolf is brave enough to come back after many centuries of efforts to scare it away. This is something remarkable. In such a densely populated country as the Netherlands, this gives hope. It gives hope that nature might survive after all. So, what happens is that even they, some of us, are determined to build many, many kilometers of electrified fences all over the country. And this shows us where we stand, petrified, at the other side of the fence. As we once did when we saw the little piggy hearing the blow. So here is the paradox. Most of us want to believe in a thriving future where nature is possible, but there is just no space for wilderness. There is no space for anything that is uncontrolled. There is maybe not even space for thinking or feeling different. And I'm going to give you another example of this. If you think about outside again, we want to keep it all tidy at all times. We want to keep the grass mowed. No rest, maybe even better. Some tiles everywhere. Nothing will grow from there. We just need to micromanage. We do this to ourselves. We might like butterflies or bees, but we don't like the dirt, the weeds, the mess. And here is another paradox, the real mess. We are creating ourselves. The extinction of so many species. Birds, planet, invasive species, you name it. So what is the way out of this mess? Oh, why bet there is no way out, but there is a way in. And sometimes, even a very deep part of ourselves, almost hiding, there is this kind of sentiment that is not good or bad, is not happy or sad, is just empathetic, is brave enough to walk with an open heart, to look beyond the fences of judgment, and brave enough to allow us to reach out with our hands. And when we do this, we'll always find support. If not by someone, we'll be taken by the breeze, by the sun, by the green of the trees, the first green, the blossom of the flowers, by the buzz of the bees, by birds that sing. And we become filled with gratitude because our surroundings haven't asked anything from us. And yet, look at the wealth of a glass of water, at the joy of the breath of fresh air, at the fulfillment of a freshly baked bread. And with this comes a realization. We are with nature, and we cannot thrive without a healthy planet. Our planet and us are deeply connected in this journey. With this in mind, I would like us now to build something together, something that will break with us. So I would like to ask you to briefly close your eyes again. And imagine your neighborhoods. You can imagine it as it is now. Or you can think about it in 10 years from now. How will it look like? But now, in a magic world, a world that our inner child would enjoy. Anything is possible, imagining an ideal neighbor. And as you have these thoughts very present, I want to ask you to please clap your hands. And now keep clapping until you find your rhythm and you can all clap together. Just keep clapping. And thank you very much for listening. This is the power of interbeing.